Hello everybody, I'm here with the Hammer Game channel and welcome back to HOI4 A to Z Kaiserredux Edition, where today we are playing as the French national state, hopefully getting Bonaparte on the throne and being wholesome as we liberate Europe and expand our empire. So let's hop on in and see what we can get up to. So here we are, North Africa and the French national state. Obviously our main goal today is to liberate France from the Commune that currently plagues the homeland. We're currently ruled, of course, by Philippe Pétain, who is the Lion of Verdun, so he's got some nice bonuses, but sadly he's not sticking around. We also have Maurice Janin as our current Prime Minister. We have three national spirits. We have anti-communard, which has given us some nice wee bonuses there to surrender limit and war supports, and bringing down, obviously, everything to do with the Commune. We then have the Code of Indigenates, which is bringing down our stability but boosting our construction speed, bit random. And then Simmering Discontent, which is just horrific and we need to get rid of it. And here, of course, is the focus tree. It's very big, but obviously different routes are going to be cut off depending on what we choose. And obviously we are going to be working down this part of the tree once the House of Bonaparte has been restored to the throne. I guess for the time being we might as well start off with the preparation for the liberation. Obviously we're going to have to greatly expand upon our army and sort it out big time. And we have just had confirmation from Canada that His Majesty King George V has passed away. And Marshal Pétain has arrived in Ottawa to obviously attend the funeral of King George. And now, of course, we get to choose the successor to d'Esperey, who obviously just retired. So we could get Charles de Gaulle as our Field Marshal, or Maxime Weygand. And to be honest, I'm gonna go for, Maxine to get promoted to Field Marshal and Darlan to become our Chief of Staff. Rumours of Modac's imminent demise. Has long served the armed forces of France, but as the political stage of our exiled regime begins to change its main players, as the winds of change blow across our Saharan home, Modak has begun to fear for his own life. Okay, so we get a choice that nothing will go wrong, no harm will come to him, or perhaps it is best that Modak takes his leave. I don't think anything's going to happen to him. I'm sure he'll be fine.
A few moments later.
Oh well, Modak was definitely not fine. He's just been stabbed to death and left to bleed out. A bitter truth. Having taken stock of our military industrial capacity, we can no longer hide from a simple, harsh fact. As it stands, our economy and army are nowhere near what's required to successfully land in the metropole and then defeat the Commune. Urgent and drastic reforms are urgently needed, and the public pressure on Premier Janin is reaching a fever pitch. Pétain himself is said to be deeply angered by the findings, demanding that Janin do something, and possibly growing more sympathetic to the voices within his government that want to see further consolidation to the junta. Janin's plan. Pétain's Premier, Maurice Janin, has few redeeming features. He is uncharismatic, unmotivated, incompetent, and prone to political blunders. So he's absolutely horrific then. Why is he in power at all? He is, however, loyal. That's why. And it is that loyalty that has inspired him to come to Marshal today with an undesirable, if necessary, proposal. In order to ensure he has no political capital to push through the military spending, it is needed to get the army into a fit state for liberation. Jan intends to pay off a large number of deputies in the assembly. He knows that such corrupt measures are far from ideal and could cause significant problems if Janin is certain that is the only way forward. In light of growing frustration with his government inabilities, reluctantly, Pétain can only agree. Yeah, that's going to get out, isn't it? Oh, the West Indies has requested outdated planes. Sadly, we are unable to do that because we have nothing to give. Oh, and would you look at that? Janin's corruption has been exposed today in all of its detail, showing off the bribes, the threats, and the promises that turn a blind eye to illegal activity in exchange for support. So we now have widespread protests in the nation, so Janin will have to go. Would you look at that? An unexpected arrest has been made. We found out who actually killed Henry Modak, and it was Henry Charbonnet, Joseph Darnan's own nephew and a former member of Action Française who drifted further to the right and joined more fringe leagues. This connection to the murder has greatly embarrassed Darnan and aroused a great deal of suspicion. Clearly the circumstances and motives behind Modak's death will have to be looked into even further. And in a not so shocking turn of events, Janin has resigned. So to get the House of Bonaparte back, we can take the first or second option. So we'll just go ahead and meet with De la Roque, if that's how you pronounce it. So we're now meeting with the Colonel, and we're going to go for the second option. We are not going to accept and make sure we get his back in. We're going to go for the second option. We don't need to give him so much power, he'll stay loyal anyways. Time is running out. Having turned down his allies' overtures, and with protests ongoing, Pétain is in an increasingly difficult position, although both Delacroix and Marin have promised that they will continue to stand by the junta. Our refusal to make meaningful concessions to either man has certainly ensured that their support will be hardly vigorous in the coming weeks. With the protests going nowhere, this won't be enough. With this in mind, multiple allies of Pétain, including both General de Gaulle and Admiral Darlan, have now once again urged the Marshal to declare martial law, arguing that civilian politics has led to this chaos and that it is time for us to move on from it for good. The junta is to live on and the metropole is to be retaken, with others urging us to make a discreet overtures to various far-right leagues to see if their support will bolster our image. We're going to go for that option. We can do this legitimately if we can gain the League's support. Let's do it. Maurice's gambit. Having been quietly connected by associates president looking for backing, Charles, the political philosopher and dominant politician of the Orleanist, monarchist and integral nationalist Action Française, has simply formed a clear impression that the junta has become desperate for support. It is, with this in mind, it appears that he and his allies in the AF today announced a new motion in the Assembly to formally lift the law of exile against royal pretenders, allowing them back into France. Though this is not an outright effort at restoring the monarchy, it is a crucial first step to doing so, and thus an extremely ambitious move on the part of Charles. Especially telling was Charles's humble request, repeated in later speeches by Maurice Peugeot and Henry Massis, the support of President Pétain in his efforts. Of course, such endorsement of Charles's move would allow the act to pass with ease and lead to the restoration of the monarchy, but it would seem Charles won't take anything less in exchange for his support. Yep, we're going to give him our backing, so we're going to repeal the law of exile. A spanner in the works. Until today, all has been going well and smoothly in our collaboration with Charles and the AF. Most have come to believe that the junta will live on, even if the monarchy will return. However, things become notably more complicated today. With a repeal of the law of exile having allowed every royal claimant to return, Louis Bonaparte, claimant to the throne of the French Empire, arrived in Tunis today. This has considerably disrupted our plans for a smooth consolidation of power, but the roots of the resurgent Bonapartism now begin to grow. Having to choose between two royal houses is less than desirable. Many of Pétain's allies, including de Gaulle, simply argue that we should ignore Bonaparte. The empire fell in 1870, and there is no organised political movement equivalent to Action Française that can fight for its restoration. However, others, including Darlan, are arguing that this is a good opportunity not to let Charles's influence grow too out of hand, and that we should tactically support the more easily controlled Bonaparte. Well, that's not going to be the case either. Bonaparte is going to rule supreme, so we are going to be wary of the AF's power and endorse Bonaparte. Charles's anger, with Pétain having publicly given his tactic support to the young Louis Bonaparte's claim to the throne, the Orleanist Action Française, which has so far been invaluable to our efforts to preserve the junta, has been thrown into fury. Senior members of the AF have stormed out meetings with Pétain's loyalists, and Charles' less than flattering remarks about the president have been eagerly picked up by the press. The new crisis threatens to undermine our continued control and power. Many with Pétain's clique, notably Charles de Gaulle, are strongly urging the Marshal to take necessary U-turn and cut off his support from the Bonapartists, and thus seek to again placate the AF, where many others insist that by distancing ourselves from the AF we made the right choice, stopping our influence from growing unchecked. Turning around now, they argue would be humiliating, and we should instead dig in our support of the Bonapartist claim and weather the storm. So we have come this far in support of Bonapartism, we can't backtrack now, so Louis Napoleon Bonaparte becomes the head of the government. Doggedly supported young Louis Bonaparte for several weeks now in the face of anger from liberals and the far right alike. Few were surprised today when President Pétain declared the Third Republic be at an end. In a simple and brief act obediently passed by Pétain's allies in the Assembly in spite of the Orleanist AF delegates storming out, the French Empire, the great nation which once had stretched from Haiti to Moscow, was reborn. Louis Napoleon, having met repeatedly with Pétain over the past weeks, was declared emperor and a formal coronation is said to be under preparation. Although many came to predict such a move, the restoration of a largely discredited monarchy, which has never had a political movement to continue its legacy like the Orleanists, has come as a profound shock to almost everyone. Nevertheless, most citizens have taken a positive attitude to the restoration and have come to the hope that young Louis will, with the loyal aid of the line of Verdun, can restore the greatness of his ancestor. Marshal Philippe Pétain decided to take a stroll alone, accompanied only by 2 bodyguards, through a magnificent Grotte de Cervantes in Algiers. The Marshal's popularity was such that he didn't normally have to worry much about being assassinated. However, the Marshal was found bludgeoned to death at the bottom of the grottes he was visiting, along with his 2 personal guards and the Arab tourist guide by the local gendarmes after he hadn't returned from his stroll in a while. The criminals seem to have left no trace of themselves, although the savage methods employed are reminiscent of those used by the Camots de Rue of Action Française against anti-France and their enemies. Some say it was Charles's revenge for being betrayed by Pétain, who preferred to install an emperor instead of a king. Napoleon asked for an investigation to be carried out as soon as possible, already without Pétain to support him. The apolitical young emperor found himself without support for his reign. The prospect of abdicating came to mind, but not wanting to plunge France back into anarchy. The young emperor promised to form a new government as soon as possible. Albeit most of the main political groups of our empire, new emperor would prefer to simply wait for Bonaparte's rule to end and take power for themselves. May the spirit of Napoleon I help the emperor. So we get non-existent political support for the restoration. Wonderful, great, not ideal in the slightest. Action from the Action Français. Now getting desperate, Napoleon has turned to the Action Français, an identically monarchist organisation. However, unfortunately for Napoleon, the AF supported the Orleanist candidate for the throne and not Napoleon. When the emperor came to ask them to support him, he was dismissed out of hand by Charles. As Bonaparte slinked back to his office once again defeated, he began to receive intelligence that a certain faction of the AF, angered at Charles' failures, was prepared to support Napoleon. When the government secretly reached out to them to maybe work out a deal and possibly help them take over the organisation, however, government agents found their faction weak and disorganised. Well, maybe in the future they may be of some note. Now they are of no use to anybody, much less the emperor. A dwindling hope. A deal with the devil. Oh dear, what could this be? With no other options, Napoleon has come to the radical, however you pronounce that, patriots for help. As a Bonapartist militia, they were easy to win over. While Napoleon winced at the thought of giving their leaders political offices and their gangs official status, he had no other option. So we have low imperial restoration support now, thanks to getting Pierre Tattinger and the GP. Operation Imperial Penis. That's a new one. It seems that rumours about the purchase of the penis of Napoleon I, but also and especially those concerning its size, reside in numerous caricatures and criticisms, both socialist and republican, showing our emperor as being provided with a virile member of ridiculous size or other fantastical nonsense. It would consist in sending a small commando to the heart of the icy lands of Russia, more precisely at St. Petersburg, with the penis of the famous mystic Rasputin, which would be of an exceptional size. Following this theft, the commando will return to Algiers, where the Russian penis will be passed off as Napoleon's to put a definitive end to the idiotic accusations of our political opponents. This plan has been approved by the Emperor as well as the General Staff, and the results should show up within a month or so. No way. Operation Imperial Penis has been successful, as we expected. The theft of Rasputin's penis went smoothly, and the commando arrived without any loss in Algiers this morning, where they were welcomed by the Emperor, who awarded them the Legion of Honour for having rendered a service of the highest importance to the Emperor and the nation. The journalists, as well as the Republicans and Socialists, were amazed at the size of such a monster. The caricatures and mockery soon ceased to be written, giving way to Bonapartist journalists who showed such a size as being proof of legitimacy of the Bonapartes, or even as being obviously hereditary. The relic was then exhibited in the largest museum in Algiers, which received an extraordinarily large number of visitors. The operation was therefore a huge success for the government and the Emperor, who succeeded in galvanising the people to lead them towards the liberation of the metropolis in the future. Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous, but yay, a Napoleonic victory, woohoo! I love how Sweden changes to a commune every single game, but the one I actually play is the Commune of France, which would have been beneficial having Sweden. That was the call of the day, as many traitors were rounded up by the JP militia and marched by the dozen to town squares across France. These traitors were then quickly lined up against any suitable wall and executed before another group was marched in to stand on their bodies and meet the same fate. This traitor terror, as it's been called, has whipped France into paranoid frenzy. JP propaganda has convinced Frenchmen that treasonous snakes lurk behind every corner and hear anything of any use to filter it back to France's many enemies. Okay, terror is nothing more than justice, prompt, secure and flexible. Not too sure I agree with that statement. So Bulgaria's done for today. They were at war with the Belgrade Pact and the Ottoman Empire. Greece has just declared war and they're actually in the Austrian faction, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be at war with everybody very soon around them. Yep, there we go. I've just decided the colonial status quo today. I wasn't going to do a renewed crackdown, just seems like it would cause us some issues with resistance, so we will be able to do reassert French rule, so we could create a French African colony. Well, Greece has just went rad sock, so they've left the Austrian faction now. If La Coruna is left unguarded, that would be absolutely hilarious. Okay, we've managed to cut the Carlists in two here. Oh, Belgium capitulated, and we also have the Batavian Commune, so I have a funny feeling Germany's probably going to destroy them as well. Did they seriously just leave La Coruna open? Ah, excellent. That encirclement has been dealt with. We'll go and help deal with this one. Right, we're going to see if we can smash through to Oviedo. Right, we're headed to Burgos, because there's only one division. I'd like to think Ireland's joined the Entente. Okay. That's fine. There is no way that they are still holding on. Oh, I was going to say... Oh, well, that's interesting. The Austrian alliance is just crumbling into pieces. Nice. Okay, we've cut CNT in half. So ideally, we secure Valencia and that'll help our supply out. The Ukrainian state is at war with West Ukraine, and West Ukraine is at war with pretty much everybody. Oh look, there's a Commune of France tank division in here. What a terrible shame you're going to die. Well, Middle Africa's gone, so that's good. We don't have to worry about them causing us any problems if we end up at war with Germany. We don't have to cover that border. Oh, Andorra is now the capital. Okay, interesting. And they're dead. Wonderful. The Kingdom of Spain has emerged victorious, so hopefully they will join us. Seriously, Switzerland, you've recognised the Commune. Canada's still at war with Puerto Rico. I am not getting involved. Oh my days, they're actually getting more divisions out as well. Well, there's the second Weltkrieg kicking off. The world is at war once again. So we will definitely be joining very, very soon. Yeah, the looming war across Mediterranean, storm clouds are gathering. Government offices in Algiers have been flooded with reports from the Met Patrol inform us the war between the Commune and German Empire is imminent, and that a socialist government is mobilising its troops in an effort to retake Alsace-Lorraine. Oh, Ukraine's just joined the Third Internationale. Okay. It doesn't look like Germany's doing very well against Russia right now. And as soon as, yep, the Union of Britain joins and they're getting naval invaded. Oh, okay, that's a lot of divisions stacked there, but thankfully we're going up the Clyde. Well, I bet the Union of Britain was not expecting this to be coming their way. Yeah, we want the majority of the divisions just on the main front, please. Thank you. Sorry, Liberia's demanding Sierra Leone. And I'll send my garrison divisions down there because they're probably going to declare war on us. Oh, yep, they have declared war on us. That's not great. Seriously, they're trying to naval invade us back? Oh, they have actually landed in the port. Okay, that's a bit awkward. I love how the Canadians haven't bothered sending any troops over to help us in the actual land they want to retake. Come on, Liberia. You surely can't be holding on for much longer. Upgrade landing craft as well, ideal. Oh, thank heavens for that. Liberia has been defeated. End the rivalry, annex Albania, annex the French Empire. You've got to be kidding me. Do they actually Oh, they do. Right, I guess you guys might as well just head out over to that border. Right, we're in a pretty good defence position there. I wonder if we can maybe push into Dumfries. I love how the Irish have been actually more help than anybody else over here. Oh, the Union of Britain's been quite aggressive there. Retaking Manchester, that's fine, we'll push them back out of there. Nice, and Liverpool's now cut off, let's crush them. Yep, there we go, that's them dead now. Yeah, Newcastle's fallen, which means every last one of these divisions is screwed. Everyone get in position, because we're going in for the kill on the Union of Britain. The thing is, I know exactly where I need to go to just turn this in my favour. Like, there we go, Hull's cut off. Hull is cut off and Hull is under siege, so they're all dead. Thanks for joining us today. London's under siege, London's gone, and there goes the capitulation of the Union of Britain. Oh, Egypt does have a war goal on me, and Tripolitania has joined them. Let me just get some more divisions out, because that could prove disastrous, but hopefully that's not going to happen anytime soon. Oh, excellent. Okay, naval invasions have proved to be successful so far. Mobilise Normandy, let's do it. The fall of Vienna. Austria's dead. Well, holy moly, that's not good, but at least we're absolutely caking our way through France right now. Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous what we're up against, because half of these are Ukrainian divisions as well. Germany's very close to dying here. Like, Germany's pretty much going to be gone. Oh my days, do we have a hero in the form of the Czechoslovakians and Poland to divert some of the attention away from us? How many divisions they have? Oh, they are stacked. Oh yes. Some of you better run, boys. Go straight through there. Go straight through there. Let's surround the crap out of Paris. Oh, go on Czechoslovakia. Because all the Ukrainian troops will have had to have left. Because, obviously the Czechoslovakians and Polish border right on them. The only issue being, you know, obviously the further we get in, the more of death stack it's going to become. Yeah, we've lost 354,000 men, but do you know what? It's been pretty damn successful, you know? Can't really complain too much about this. The only issue is Russia's going to take all of Germany and they're not going to give us Alsace-Lorraine, are they? Unless I just immediately kick off flipping Weltkrieg 3. There's 32 in there. Yeah, they're absolutely screwed. Yep, they are just slowly, but... Oh, they're dead. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, the Channel Islands have come into our possession. These islands depended on the Kingdom of France as lands of the Duchy of Normandy until 1204, when they came under English and then British domination. Being a personal domain, the King of the United Kingdom under the British Revolution after the Great War, when local unions, brave revolutionaries, took control of the islands. Yeah, I'm taking it. They're mine now, thank you. Rebellion in Tunisia. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, let's suppress them. And there we go, the liberation. Remove anti-commoner, but we get post-war devastation, administrative chaos. We complete La Liberation, we gain cores on some places, and some popularity changes for syndicalism. Yay. Oh, we're home. We have factories. We have manpower. We have so much rebuilding to do. Yeah, Germany's definitely got a lifeline, because they're only in a one-front war now, aren't they? So, they might actually push the Russians back a little bit. Oh, the Pope has willingly joined Sardinia. Italia reunite. Oh, there it is. So they could proclaim Italy or proclaim Sardinia Piedmont. This would mean renouncing any ambitions of the kingdom. No, please don't do that. Please do the Italian. Become the kingdom of Italy, rather. The division of France. The national building in Algiers today has been seeing lots of activities, and many generals and ministers have been gathering together today for a meeting that will have very important outcomes. Where just the other day the French tricolour and eagle were flying proudly in the wind, and on every street corner as celebrations of victory in the reclamation of their homeland was achieved, today it seems to be a much more sombre mood among the hungover representatives. Reason being that the liberation has brought nationalist French troops into contact with the Germans, and while both were sure to celebrate and drink together at this meeting, the politicians behind closed doors had a new migraine to deal with, the migraine of what to do with Germans being in their newly regained homeland. Ultimately, after another hour of discussion on the situation, the representatives confident in this, the decision was made. Mobilise, prepare an ultimatum, we can settle this peacefully, prepare to negotiate, or we can't risk conflict or crisis in this situation. Let us try and do it peacefully. Oh no, there... What? Germany has been defeated. Oh, they're proclaiming the Kingdom of Italy. Thank heavens for that. What do we do with the Commune's police? I'm not even going to read this, I'm just going to purge them, because it gets rid of the socialist resistance a little bit. So dealing with the returnees... Okay, this is the housing situation. So establish a local committee to settle the matter. Restore it as long as they give up their African properties or restore exiles' rightful property in full. I'm going to establish a committee to deal with this matter because it's quite a sensitive one. Newfoundland and Labrador exists. Trial of the Union administrators now. Obviously, military tribunals await them. Socialist resistance on its last legs. Fading socialist resistance is now the national spirit we have. Excellent news. Well, we've managed to successfully land without any issues, so let's just invade everywhere. Oh, yeah, there goes the Ottoman fleet. That has been absolutely decimated. There we go, national recovery is done. I'm going to go ahead and do loose ends now, just to see what the French diplomacy stuff is. Oh my days, there's 40 divisions in Flanders. No wonder they didn't die. Just a random fact for y'all. I'm going to Middelburg on holiday. Oh, Brussels is going. We have managed to push them all into Antwerp. Oh, and they've all died. Holy... Yep, we just killed 540,000 Flemish troops. Literally cannot take any of that, which is kind of hilarious, but there we go. Batavian Commune did, but that doesn't matter because the Batavian Commune is going to die. The Russian Republic has returned Dunkirk. Clearly the Belgian government has accepted our terms. Well, no, thank you Russia is what we should be saying. I don't know how well Constantinople is going to be defended, but we are making good progress. Alright, Bonaparte emerges from the shades. A long night in Paris. Completely stacked Constantinople, but it's not, like, easy to take down either. The young emperor has begun to grow acclimated to the splendour of Paris. Every night he looks out the windows from this and sees the centre of his empire. Youths engage in romance, small business owners are starting to open up shop, and gentlemen are back to acting like they own the place. These months are the first he has himself freely experienced France, and it brings Napoleon the greatest joy and fear. He has tried to ignore the terror, the reaction, the aggression. It has been there this his whole life, after all. From his days with the conservative and ageing Empress Eugene to the cutthroat environment of Algeria. The communards are gone, but the misery in the metropole remains. The government perpetuates a structure of violence in his own name. What to do? The most powerful man in France never felt so weak and lonely. Not even when no one would stand by him as a true friend and mentor in those first days of restoration. But then his thoughts drifted to hope for the people. The people have always stood behind Napoleon from the day of the coronation to his first time strolling the streets of Paris. People always celebrate the emperor and made him feel at home in his country, even as his officials trampled over them. Those thoughts were all he needed to resolve himself to do what had to be done. Finally, he remembered the words of his mother after liberation, urging him to be a ruler worthy of loyalty from the people. It has been 4 hours since the emperor summoned General Giraud to order an arrest of his own government. Though he begged and pleaded with his closest confidants to be with his people in the city to rally them to action, they would not budge. The emperor was stuck listening and waiting from here. Even from a few miles away, he could hear the night, gunfire, the ringing bell, shouts of urgency. Napoleon was a soldier, and here he was, alone. Something had to be done. It had been far too long since he had heard any word. Something had to be done. It had been far too long since he had heard any word. Clutching his pistol, His Majesty, accompanied by a few guards, defied the wishes of his advisors, began to head for the nearest radio broadcasting station, eager to rally the people against the tyranny of the patriots. As they came close to the city edges, the night grew more quiet. Only the chiming of the new hour was heard until another entourage, perhaps escaping, perhaps hunting for stragglers, emerged near the station. They approached the young emperor, and as officers began to speak, Napoleon began to weep tears of joy. These scouts were headed to inform the emperor of the glorious victory in the city tonight. The emperor can now address the nation. Excellent. Remove and awaken the young France, and add the JP resistance. Okay. And yes, the new eagle. Alright, didn't realise I had that modifier. And Paul is here. Oh, Togoland has declared war on us. Okay, right, we're gonna have to just divert some troops. Right, they can just run free for the time being. Oh, we have managed to push across. Excellent. Oh, the fall of the Hague has put the final nail in the coffin. Excellent. Let's take all that and let's take that. Bam. Okay, immediately we will send all of the troops down to Africa. Ah, there goes the Ottoman Empire. Excellent. Do I really get to take much in this? Okay, I've somehow managed to take it all. Togoland's about to get put in their place as well. Olive branched the Liberals, a united entirely democratic front. Well, that's wholesome, isn't it? And we have a brand new Turkey. The fate of Togoland split Togoland's administration between us and our allies. Canada becomes owner and controller of Togoland. No, it's French clay now. Ah, okay. Let us just declare war on the Moroccans. They have resisted us. No, they have not. They are dying today. Yeah, because these divisions are absolutely pathetic. Unless, you know, I'll just quickly just add some more infantry to them. It's a good thing they never declared war on us earlier on, because they would have just absolutely destroyed us. Well, Egypt's almost gone, so that means the war is almost over. Can't wait to have the Suez under my control. I'm not giving that back to the British. Can this war end against Egypt? Can it just end? Can we actually make a push with you guys to take Tripoli? I like how we just chose the option in the tree for us not to actually take over. Oh, we're the French Popular Empire now. We chose not the path of conquest, yet we are still just destroying people left, right and centre. But we will soon be finishing that. Well, the Pacific State has emerged victorious, but the radical socialists, I've just noticed, have locked the UK out of doing the Restore the Foreign Office and their expansion part of the tree, because I own the Channel Islands. Okay, I just went in and bypassed it for them so they can actually do this stuff here. However, a question arises: the country, although restored, is not as powerful worldwide as before, and although we are undeniably a great power, we no longer have the same power over world affairs. Most of our compatriots say that French blood has already been spilled too much, and that it would be better to stay on our good side, where some members of staff are pushing us to the contrary to launch a crusade to restore the greatness of France. Damn right. Okay, I wasn't sure that was going to open up today. This part will not be opening up because we've not got Party Imperial in power. The question of Entente. Now that we've begun to assert ourselves onto the world stage, a major question arises: what about alliance with the British? Some say that their interests conflict with ours, while others say that their aid and assistance is too valuable, and that it would be dishonourable to leave them now. The third person agrees that while the Entente's interests are no longer aligned with ours, they believe that simply leaving the alliance is not enough. Instead, they believe that we should form our own alliance to act as a counterweight to the Anglo-dominated Entente. All positions hold, but with the debate becoming increasingly heated, a decision must be made quickly. No, we're friends with the British now and forever. There's no point leaving the faction. 30% consumer goods for real care for the victims of the liberation. Yes, we're working for the people, but damn, that's crippling. Sorry, they want Egypt back? Yeah, the request is a polite one and not a demand, though it's quite clear they see no reason for us to refuse. What is all that? I'm curious to see what all the land is I'm going to give them back. Alright, okay, they just get all of Egypt and Sudan and part of Libya and also Sierra Leone. Pink Bonapartism. As the Emperor reasserts his pervasive and deserved influence over the government, a new flavour of Bonapartism has begun to take shape. This pink Bonapartism, as it's been termed, is just as it seems. It still believes in the importance of an emperor and the strength of a centralised state, however it believes that these things are to be used to further the plight of the people. The Emperor has begun many government programmes to help the poorest of the Frenchmen and women, subsidised a scholarship programme to boost college graduation rates for the poor, and opened hundreds of soup kitchens across the country. Meanwhile, the government has reinforced government assistance to those in need, furthered the arts and supported the reformations of unions. All of this has won the people over, who were still sceptical of Le Petit Bonaparte, as Louis was known by his detractors. Now, however, only the most die-hard of the right and left wing remain defiant. Napoleon has seemingly not conquered the French people with guns, but with bread. Wonderful. A true national father. A wholesome Napoleon. We're going to have one last war, one last showdown, because Czechoslovakia is syndicalist, so they cannot be allowed to remain. I must liberate the nation. I've decided to call in all the allies to finish this war off. Might as well have one more war where we all work together. Italy is flooding in, Budapest has fallen, and all that remains to do now is the people and their empire. So fully realise the social and popular empire with a true empire by its people. There we go. A true empire by its people. That is us finished. The social democratic focus tree. Wholesome Napoleon has been obtained. And there we go. The Czechoslovakian Federation is no more. Thank heavens for that. There we go. We've taken over a lot of land. It's just a shame Austria's kind of still occupied by two different people. But yeah, Republic of Czechoslovakia is here. Hungary. Romania is obviously thicker. West Ukraine, Galicia, Lodomeria. It's all good. I would declare war on Japan to take, obviously, some territory that's clearly ours, and I guess Russia still has some of it as well. But at this point, I think I'm kind of done. Well, it's time for the Swiss state to disappear. Lithuania has joined the Entente. Ah, there we go. The Swiss are no more. Excellent. The Swiss Confederation. Welcome. And I think I also just seen the Belgian government in exile join us. But I don't know how, because the Congo's a mess. Oh no, there they are, the Belgian government in exile. Albert I. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that episode there. So thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I did certainly enjoy playing as Napoleon and being a little bit more wholesome. Yeah, we don't have all of France, but I really cannot be bothered fighting Russia and Japan at this point. Russia's got tons of divisions, and Japan is Japan. I never like invading them. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next week for another episode. Until then, do take care. Cheer bye, then now.